Everybody on. Good evening, Colin. Happy New Year, Norman. To everybody. Hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you had a nice, relaxing time, and you're ready to get back at it. So this evening, I've got some interesting stuff to go through with you, which I think will be could change the game for everybody. Okay. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll do the usual format. We'll give everybody a couple more minutes to come on, and we'll do the usual format, and then we'll go and hit it. So, welcome, Jim. What we got on? Look. Colin, Jim, John, Beer, John Smith, Margaret, Norma Fort, Philip, Stephen Vance, you're all very, very welcome. Thanks for sending in your questions today and yesterday. Just wait for a couple more people to come on, and we're actually going to start punctually, guys, at 8 o'clock. It's one of my New Year's revolutions. Not resolutions, revolutions. So I hope you're all doing well. And Santa was good to you, to say the least. We've got about a minute to go, guys, before we actually go live. We are recording. So, first of all, I suppose let's go. We'll start a minute early for all of you turned up. First of all, Happy New Year. Let me get this working there now. Probably go the wrong way. No, that's right. So Happy New Year to one and all. It's 2017. This is the year, guys. So all about choice. This is the year. All right. So who's up for it? Who's up to make this year absolutely? What is a ghost called in Ireland? I don't know. Go on. What's a ghost called in Ireland? I presume this is a joke. Norman, go on before we get into it. And you, thank you, Stephen. Yes, yes, that's my plan, says Vance. Philip, yes, yes. Okay. No crossword clue. What's a ghost called in Ireland? A banshee, I would imagine. B-A-N-S-H-E-E. Double check the spelling because it's me on Google, but it would be a banshee. It would normally be called a ghost. Right? So let's get back to this. That was random, Norman. And Norman, don't be doing crosswords when you're talking to me. My God. So, 2017, want to make this an absolutely remarkable year for everybody. I have been sitting back over Christmas. I have changed the agenda slightly tonight, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I want to talk to you, and it's going to be a conversation where I have a plan that I think could completely revolutionize everybody's business. But before I go and make it all happen, I need everybody's commitment and to go to it. So we'll get that in a second. Let's do the question and answer. So first of all, Happy New Year. Your updates. This is from Margaret. I had 2 competitions running, have been backlinking emails put on hold due to circumstances beyond my control, and also someone that was on vacation. And now have my new hosting stuff made on December at last. It has been a lot of challenges. Few girls clear up when I get emailing. Yeah, we know. Again, I suppose moving forward, that is going to be sorted. So that I think by the end of this month, you will no longer need SendGrid. I've been talking to Kevin today about changing his model. Sent out 10 prizes Christmas week. No one has proper vote on. I thank you from 2 people. 2 guys emailed what was their prize. One already had his, and the other I just posted, and it was Christmas. I was supposed to try. But they didn't email, and see, I had to ask. No queer as fuck. Yeah, look, it is. You asked for pictures, just make sure that we announce them and that Mags is putting it on the site. Okay. You could always swipe the pictures off of Facebook and put them up there, guys. Like, you know, if they, you know, congratulations, the winner is. A lot of people are very funny about their images and the rest of it. Nice, just want to give you an update from Gary. First print delivered winner, just waiting for a follow back from them. You could be waiting, I've set my email as an autoresponder. fabulous. Not getting new open rates, so I need to look at subject lines and maybe tweak them. It's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about. My second competition was launched on the 3rd of January, and so far I have had 482 added to my list, 173 new Twitter followers, 65 new Instagram followers, 47 new Facebook likes, and I'm doing daily linking them for more. Perfect. So this is from John Beer. Are there two gender versions of the competition proposal system identified as gender recipient? The system doesn't. You can split your list into genders, I just wouldn't. The emails, and I must actually craft the emails for the mail book for you. I'll put that on my to-do list. Mail version of book, and give you swipes for that. It doesn't. You can import your list. You could segment your list from males to females if you wanted, then go into it. Just sounds like too much work. So just send it out to everybody, and the males will answer the male-generated emails, and the females will answer generated females, and sometimes females will answer the male-generated females, and you just don't know what happens. It's a strange world on the internet, so I wouldn't overly worry about that. John, I suppose, is the reality of the situation. I just wouldn't get too worried. Just email them, get them click, get them to buy. But we'll talk a bit more about this in a minute as well. Okay, this is all leading down into a very open conversation we're going to have, right? I look forward. This is my first update. I've been setting my new blog, which has taken much longer than I thought. I use StudioPress and Liquid Shell Team plus a separate blog design over the top. I'm now working on filling a post so it doesn't look naked. Good. I opened my Facebook and Twitter pages and added a Facebook header and profile picture. Excellent. I use a limited stock edition stock blog brand builder set which match my blog design logo. I may change it to Euro, but I like it with the beautiful image. That's fine. That's absolutely perfect. I will be getting my banner from 5 this month, and I'll go with my fancy purses IRP reach this month set up. Actually, wait till the end of the month would be my advice, because he's got a whole. You can know it's just going to be easier. Okay. So just wait at the end of the month on a daily basis, and I'll be adding to and Facebook and learning how to use them properly. I am new to Twitter, so there's a learning curve there. It's okay. I'm filming first on Facebook, but business pages are new to me. Business pages aren't that different to your Facebook or to your own Facebook. It's just about posting and engaging with people. I'll be honest, you've been a bit on hold, so I want to make show the cash share pre's and prize tablet before I set up the competition. That's great. There are my 3 billion payments. Back problem Christmas has slowed me down financially. Going back tracking where to go. Excellent. My blog is homebusiness.com. I will have a look at those for you separately, Helen, and tell you what I see. My apologies. Yeah, it says actually your link isn't working. Just to tell you. So your link could be wrong. Just try to HTTP. See if I get into that. Ah, okay, it's working. So let's bring it over so everybody can see it. Yeah, it's very, very nice, very, very feminine. So you're obviously going for feminine niche, and that's okay. Shop blog, yeah, I have no problem. Longer pages work well. Videos work better than sliders. Having Andrew Reynolds' picture there with no text on it, why he's there, and the book, why it's not there, having no text on it, would not make a lot of sense to me. So you kind of do have to explain the images. You have to put a headline on each image to do that. But look, it's looking very good. Welcome to your home business hub. Excellent. I like that. For those extra goodies, you've got the stuff in there. And of course, you can put your competition onto this as well. We can give you the widget to put the competition onto this. So that they can actually enter your competition here as well. So then you can be backlinking and driving people actually to this. And one of the advanced ones, guys, I'll do for any blog owners in the next month is the advanced SEO that I figured out on this. Okay, there's a whole advanced SEO loophole that is absolutely phenomenal, which I'll show you. Okay, excellent. Let's have a look. We might have a look at your Twitter where we're at. Yeah, perfect. It all ties together very nicely. It all ties very, very nicely. So now you have an extra follower. Congratulations. Okay. Perfect. And everybody else, if you could follow Helen as well, it would be very good. You should all follow each other as well, guys, and see what you're doing. Please don't like to be more friend on purpose. Okay, that's great. If I'm always working very masculine, I want to attract more women to work from home area. Lena, I agree 1000%. I think that's a growth area this year. Matter of fact, I'm working in that area myself with business owners in Ireland. I'm working with a lot of women to get them actually up and moving on the internet, because I think it's moms at home. You know, the kids gone back to school. People are in the same position as my darling wife are. You know, plenty of skills, opportunities, small bit lost on what to do, and I think that can be very, very easily solved. I also purchased from Nikki's affiliate commission game plan, excellent cheat sheets and fire sale products, which I'm looking into. I'm also wanting to get a free bonus gift to the winner, which is an e-course I'm creating later for purchase when I PayPal set up. Excellent. And that should keep me out of trouble this month. That should absolutely keep you out of trouble. Oh, sorry, I'm goofing. So Helen, that's excellent. To be honest, you have a lot of work done there. I will show you the events, blog stuff, guys. I'll schedule that in. I know we have to do the Facebook stuff, which I promised you to do the Facebook Live stuff, which will help get your Facebook up and running. And I've been working away on that and testing some stuff, and we'll talk about that next week, okay? Because there's something else I want to talk about once we get through the questions. It's really drama, isn't it? So last competition closed, received winner from support and emailed and waiting for response. Okay, excellent. Received details more in my list of Facebook group post and probably started backlinking. Excellent. Did an email campaign over the new year for dieting products. Seems like nobody wants to lose weight this year. Yeah, okay. So again, we'll talk about that in a second. My competition in the SMS has pulled the window. This was after 2 extensions offered at the price. So that's fine. As I want sort of info for marketing draws. But winners in the USA, unfortunately, was somewhat slowful from Christmas holidays and it gets as much done as I hoped. So quite a stuff to do, but we'll get it done. I don't want to do another competition on system activated, so need to sort out time, etc. Work on my business here, but I will not go up despite the chances to my neck and non-technical brain mind. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Which email do I use posting competitions? The 600 in the video, last one, day one of course 2, we did Tony use apps at rocks at Gmail. I am trying to log the site as generally myself. I always use site, or if it's actually Tony's email address, if it's the latter, which email address was one used. You use the one you set up, Vance, for your competition. Apps at rocks at Gmail is our email address, which means that people respond to that and you won't know what's going on. So set up one for your competition business. Gmail is free to set up. You can have one exactly for your competition business. I'm sure the answer would be really simple after I explained. Everything is simple when you know how, guys. Okay, everything is simple when you go how. So don't worry about when the videos, webinars, or the courses. Can a time replace in the lower bar of the video? No is the answer, Vance. I hate to say it. I did look at it and I think it's an absolutely fantastic point. The problem that I have is that we use GoToWebinar and we actually record the videos in the GoToWebinar system and they convert them. So the way we get them is the way we get them. I will have a look and see if over the next week if I can solve the problem, but as of today I can't. I would love to and I think it makes absolute sense, and maybe we have to run the videos through something else before we put them up. I think it's a very, very good point. So I will see video timer if I can actually find some way of adding a video timer to it. Maybe I'll bring them into my own software. I've never done it because, but hang on. Okay, so the videos of the webinars are on the courses. On the courses we can because we use a different thing. On the videos of the webinars, we use YouTube, so it is already there. Just thinking this through. So it is on YouTube, so the time is there. It's just where we put the training, we put it on a very secure site, obviously, because we don't want it hacked and we don't want other people using it and that aren't part of our system. So, you know, if they get at the webinars, which is unlikely, but if they get the webinars, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense if you haven't run through the program. So that's the reason they go up on YouTube and they will have a timer on them, Vance. So that should make that a bit easier for you. No, we can see my screen. Oh, can you see? Sorry about that. Okay, my apologies. So when I was looking at Helen's site, none of you saw. So this is Helen's site. My apologies for that. Yeah. You know, back after holidays, brain is in creative mode, guys. So that's what happens. My brain sometimes is in creative mode. So this is our site, and that's a Twitter account. Okay, so Home Business League is our Twitter handle. Excellent. So that's that. Okay, so on to the next one. Competition review. We're going to skip that for tonight. Because I want to get into what I want to talk to you about. So we have done the Outboard Warden special. There is an affiliate commission available on Outboard Warden, okay? So that's one of the reasons where all this whole kind of conversation came up from. So we'll talk in a second. So I just want to go through some of the stuff that we're doing. What's been happening with us. Facebook product begins next week. I know I promised that, but I want to do it next week because I want to talk to you about this other thing in a second. And we're going to give away a BMM program. That's going to be part of it. Mail swap program is on the way. We're building the forum for that. PR Vault will be up by next week. That's been done. And Mags is also looking to offer in-house graphics at the same price as Fiverr. If anybody wants to use that, if you're interested in that. It's a way she's got a couple of people over there that can help generate some more income for them and just get a faster service, and they'll do them the way that we want them to be done. So that's going to be launched as well. I have nothing got to do with those graphics. It'll be directly with Max, but she's a good girl. So let's talk about money. I've had a couple of emails from you. Some of you have made money, some of you haven't made money, and some of you are struggling to make money. Which isn't unusual on the internet, okay? And I'm not being, I've always said I'll be honest with you guys, so it's not unusual because if you're not emailing and you don't get kind of into it, you don't make money. So this is what I'm thinking, is we have a community of people who are all doing the same activity, and we haven't joined that community together. Now, something that I looked at last year. Graphics might be great. John would be very interested in that. Excellent, will tell her. So let's talk about this, and I'll just close on the chat so I don't get distracted for a second, and then we'll come back into it, guys. So if you're asking me questions, don't worry, we'll get to it. I just don't want to get distracted. So because there is a community of us, and I want to build that community this year, okay? One of my goals is to have 1,000 members and build my list. It's one of my goals. I want a big community, especially with the stuff that I'm doing with this company. So how do we make money as a community? So it's kind of occurred to me that, you go off and you build a list and you get in your list and you email your list, and we send out a general email from Apps That Rocks them every now and again. And we're not actually doing anything with the list from an Apps That Rocks point of view, right? Because that's the deal. It wouldn't be fair for you to bring in the list and us to be emailing the neck out of them, right? And that just wouldn't be right. So I've been thinking about this all over Christmas, and how do we put together a community? I have been talking with a number of people on the internet, because I know a number of people on the internet, and what everybody's looking for is an affiliate network, okay? A network where they can come and do product launches and get traffic. So traffic to their JVZoo product. I was with a guy, he's doing a launch on Wednesday, right? And the biggest problem all of these guys have is traffic, okay? Now, we have a number of skills among the community. We have people that are very good at backlinking. We have people that are very good at writing. We have people that are very good at different things. So for us to come together properly as a community, I'm not saying that you cannot email out yourself and your own products. I have no problem with that. But what I'm saying as a community, if we could work together, and this is where the conversation will open up in a second. The idea, so for example, let's say we take Build My List, for example. We pay an affiliate commission to people when they bring in new members. Why don't we bring in the new members ourselves and pay the affiliate commission to ourselves as a group? That makes sense. Network Empire have products from $27 to $10,000 that they've got a whole sales mechanism in place, and they're happy to pay us commissions on that. I'm having a meeting with them tomorrow. You know, nobody's going to pay a 50% on a 10 grand product, guys. Let's not get ridiculous. But like, there could be a 30% margin on it, or 25% margin on a 10 grand product, which means if we get, and they'll do the selling. What all of these people are looking for is to get people into the front of the funnel. So if we give away tablets with their stuff on it, we build a list in and we create proper email programs. And we then actually, there will be a cost to this. I'm going to be perfectly transparent. I don't know what it is because I want to see what your idea is. But what my idea is that we would go off as a group and get somebody to actually handle the email marketing for the whole group. That way I have somebody that I can work with, go to a person and say, okay, we're going to work in these 3 niches. We pick 3 niches for the start: weight loss, or health, fitness, and the IM niche, and whatever other niche we pick. And then we generate the emails off. We email out for the book that comes in. We set up everybody's autoresponder. The person gets access to all our autoresponders. And I actually sit down and design the whole email campaign, the emails, the rest of it. And then they fill them into your autoresponder. Because the reality is, let's say there's 20 people, over 20 of us in the IM niche. If somebody gets an email from the same email from 20 different people, I know from a spam point of view it causes difficulty. But I also know from a mentality point of view it creates certainty. Because what happens is the people come in and they're getting the email from a load of different people, and you know, if you get it 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 times, you're kind of going, there must be something in this that's coming from everybody. So having focused campaigns, running out in email campaigns, and then proper social posts that get written, that get ready, and the schedule is given to you the same way as the calendar. What I would need from you is then to do the backlinking that you're doing, continue on competition backlinking. You will still get your list, okay? It is still your list. And you're more than welcome to email your list. But I just think as a community, if we come together and we email out offers, specific offers that I can then negotiate with the guys better terms on, I think we can then make money as a community. The challenge is, how does the money get split, right? So let's say we go off and we get this running in the next 2 months, and there's there's just for easy maths, there's 10 people involved and there's a 10 grand fund, right? And how do we split the fund? And so the way I'm looking at splitting the fund is to actually tier it. There'll be a percentage go to the house, which will be us as part of it, right? That will be a small percentage, and we'd have to agree that and look at it. I don't have numbers worked out perfectly. I want to talk theory tonight and see what you think. And then what would happen, let's say we have 3 tiers. So there will be, let's say we get a 50% commission just for easy maths, right? These aren't nailed in stone, guys, or anything else. I'll come back if everybody's interested. I'll work on this for the next week, and I'll come back with a proper proposition next week. So we might put this off another week and actually talk about this next week if everybody's interested. So the idea is, so for example, Outboard Warden pays an affiliate commission. And Outboard Warden pays a monthly affiliate commission, and it pays monthly stuff. If we do Network Empire, you know, and we sell a monthly product, or NAMS is another one that I have good relationship with these guys, and they're very good info products. We can actually generate this, and then also moving forward, ultimately, you know, you've got your own products. We can add those in and affiliate commission those. So we could work as an affiliate for products that you have, say, licensed or anything that are the products that you're creating, and actually use our own network. So the money would run down. Let's say it's 50%, that we get a 50% commission, because that would be the kind of norm, right? So just for easy maths, there would be 10% stay with the house, right, to cover costs and server costs and all this stuff, because we'll have a pretty expensive time with it, right? There'll be 10% of the money go to the funds that everybody gets a share of. So every paying member would then get a share of that. Then there would be the 30% fund would get split into 3 tiers. So there would be 15% at tier 3, 10% at tier 2, and 5% at tier 1. And that would come back to the number of new people that you brought into the list. Because that's about the only way I can measure it. I know this sounds complicated without you seeing it. Don't get carried away in numbers that just want to talk theory. So then the idea is that we would all pay an X amount of money a month, not big money because I know the situation, but we would hire somebody to do the email marketing. If we then have a full-time email marketer working under me, I'll throw in the Apps That Rock stuff, right? And we can then market directly. I'll go off and negotiate as our network the deals with the guys, put in the deals, get the swipe emails, do the testing, get that done, and then have the guys the emails that get the emails put into your system. You know, you give them your login and password. They would then upload the emails into your system and send them up, because we would get email swipes in 10s and 12s, or I'll create the email swipes. So if I'm going to create the email swipes anyway, I might as well, you know, it can go to everybody and we can rotate the emails and do that type of stuff, and then have social posts, get everybody hooked up on my Hootsuite, with maybe another person moving forward, and then we're tweeting out and doing all of that type of stuff. So then the whole idea would be that your job is to backlink, bring the people in. You know, the other things that we can charge for is we can charge for competitions, we can charge for SEO, you know, as well as that. So we actually go off out and advertise that, and actually go off and bring in customers into the system, where then it becomes a community fund and it becomes part of the community pool. And that's then split out at a rate that we would all agree. So if people are interested, could you put in, I'm interested in the chat, because I have the chat back open. Because if you're not, there's not much point in continuing on. Or is everybody baffled? Jim is in. Good. Graham's interested. Excellent. Colin, Van, Stephen, Daryl. Excellent. So do you understand the concept, guys, of what we're talking about? Is that we would pool our resources together as a community, and then the revenue that would come in will be split, right? That's kind of pretty much where we're going to. No, need to know more. Absolutely, Margaret. Like, this isn't something, Margaret, that's is going to be compulsory. It's not going to be compulsory. It will be of to be added, and I've got to sit down and actually take what's running in my head and put it into paper. But let's just do it for simple. We do simple. Damien, sorry, I need you to correct. Says Barb, the situation is for example, I'm going to do me, right? I have this whole product called the Marketon. I did we did a blab, which is now shut down, for 8 hours, 8.5 hours. We interviewed like Matt, you know, loads of internet marketers, Matt Stefanik, Andrew, the guy you saw at the last event with Nick, Andrew Gunn. You know, we had loads of people on it, absolute ton of people on it. We did it for charity. We actually did it to fundraise for a poor kid that was dying of cancer, and he has died since. But I have the product, so I'm going to put it back up there and send the proceeds to cancer charity here, and I want to put it up on so what would happen is we put that up on Warrior Plus, right? So we put out Warrior Plus. We would then us as a group would email out, and the commission would then get paid to the group, right? So normally in that we would do 50%. So if a seller, it would be dime sale, you know, and it could be 600 or 800 or $2,000 generated as a commission to the group. Margaret's saying here there are virgin people who would only be interested in certain things, e.g. save money, keep healthy, not in 10 grand products. Oh, I absolutely agree with you, Margaret. The point I was saying about the 10 grand products is Network Empire actually have the whole funnel built. So they have a free product, a 27 product, to all of these, and they have a whole advanced system built at very, very high, and they're a very, very big business. As a matter of fact, they're asking me to partner with them on a product, right? And they have an absolute huge network, and they make a lot of money. So, for example, Kevin Polly is doing a 10 grand program with them, and that's sold, right? So Kevin is doing it's 10 grand to get on the program for Kevin, right? about how to bring your email marketing to the stratosphere, right? So yes, there's people that will only spend $27. Yes, there's people only in health. That's the idea. Is we would segregate the list down. People would be working in the health niche. People would be working in the IM niche, and we would pick another one. And the other one is actually probably Amazon products, is what I'm thinking. Then everybody's going off. I can then go make deals with the people because I carry weight in the industry, not being boohoo. I carry weight in the industry. But even just bringing in people to build my list, like if we could bring in 10 people, let's be straight, the affiliate fee on 997 is 450 quid, right? If we can bring in 10 people a month, that's 4,500 to get split out between everybody. It's that simple. And it just gets split out. We wouldn't be looking at anything in the house and that because we're making our money on our side of it. So I've got to look at how the finances this, but just the concept is that as a group, if we're all like, you're doing this bit, somebody else is doing that bit, I'm doing this bit, somebody else is doing that bit, the rest of it. If we actually focus our momentum as a community, we will become the first affiliate network community in the marketplace. We know how to build lists, we know how to drive traffic, we know how to get people in. The bit that's not working for a lot of people is the emails, because you're not advanced enough in email marketing yet, to be perfectly blunt. So I'm looking at that as the way to solve this and to bring it in. So if we then employ somebody to run the emails on a part-time basis to start with, to run the emails and load up, and I've got to look at the level of work and talk over this with Mags and see what I can find the rest of it. But if I can get somebody who follow a plan that I lay out for the month, then we go off, we test it, then we're having conversations on the Tuesday night about what happened with that. We can have other people then in the group that are going onto social media and social posting. It's just the whole fact of us moving as one, and the bigger the community gets, the more we're moving, the more response we get, the better it gets, and the more money everybody makes, and all boats rise in the tide. I think, to me, that it just makes absolute sense. And it's something that I've actually been thinking about this for about 4 months, right? So when it comes to doing this, I think everybody has to pull their weight. Everybody still has to do the backlinking and the rest of it. And your effort gets rewarded in the tier that you go to. So, say the 15%, tier 1 is 5%, just for example. If you get in under 300 people in your list, you're in tier 1 and you want to get a 5% extra bonus. If you get over 500 people, you're at 15%. Yes, you're going to get people who bring in 3,500 or 4,000 people, and some are only going to bring in 600. Don't want to make it too hard for people, because I like the actual Deming principle. I don't know if you know the Deming principle of reward. Deming was an English professor, actually, ironically. So, Japan are very, very good and very, very productive. Well, after Japan got flattened in the war, it was actually a British professor, a guy called Deming, D-E-M-M-I-N-G, it could be 1 or 2 M's, I'm not 100% sure, I can't remember, was the guy who brought in this whole thing of reward everybody then rather than reward one individual for particular performance, because when you reward one individual, you create discontent among the rest of the people, and then that person doesn't do as well the following month, and it goes wrong. Whereas what's been found in Japan primarily with this type of community structure is the fact, and it was invented by an Englishman, so I can't say too much about it, was the fact that it will actually bring everybody up into the game, and everybody then would believe that, will feel that, look, geez, I better do a bit of work because I don't want anybody carrying me. And it'll become very obvious very quickly if somebody is just sitting there. These are separate with all the operations that make money and split up various earnings that we understand how it's functioning, etc. Edward Deming says, Vance here. Yeah, Vance, I'll lay this out once now that I know everybody's in agreement. I didn't want to go off and do this, and it is not going to be compulsory. You're not going to not be part of the family. If you don't do it, that's not going to be the case. It is. I want to look at A, the cost of getting somebody, right? And how do we look after that, how much it's going to be, and then B, the split out of the money, the products, give this a test. I'm quite happy to talk to Mags and see if I can. I will definitely part fund this guy's moving forward, so that it's not heavy on ye, and that we get it up and running, because I do think that it is a phenomenal opportunity for everybody to make money. It gets you going, it gets you making a lot of money as a community. There would be money come into the community as into the house as part of the commission, because I'm doing this to make money too, because if we're not all making money, there is no point in it. Okay, let's be perfectly blunt. So the whole idea is to get us all a written proposal that would help us. I missed some of the detail. Absolutely, Stephen. There is no detail at the moment. It is just a load of writing on my whiteboard up on the wall in front of me. I've been thinking about this for a while. The big question for me all the time is, I understand the affiliate network. So I'll tell you a secret. There was a group came together called the Syndicate. Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, and a number of guys came involved in it. They absolutely crushed the internet because they were focused as a group of people. Right? They were absolutely focused as a group of people, and they crushed it. They built huge lists, they made an awful lot of money, and very, very quickly. Because what it was completely focused, and everybody was on the same thing, and everybody was pushing in the same direction. So they knew very quickly what was working, what wasn't working, take a dump what wasn't working, and move very, very quickly. My goal is to have somebody employed somewhere to do that for us all, right? And obviously as it grows, we'd have more people doing it, but that I would sit down then, 2-3 days a month, at the start of the month, outline the strategy for the month, agree with the different companies, like, for example, Network Empire are talking to me tomorrow, and they want to give us commission on top-end products. That is very unusual for them to do, but they want to get access to me, so that's what's happening. If Matt did a launch, webinars, driving people to webinars, I can sit down and build my list webinars. We can drive people to other webinars. For example, Davin Michaels did Social Sonic. He was driving people to webinars. If we were all focused on that and bringing people into his webinar, it was earning at about 160 a click. So that was his conversion. So if we put 1,000 people onto it, there was $1,600 there within a week to 10 days to be picked up very simply just by putting 1,000 people on it. So there's all of these type of things happening all the time, and I have that information coming in on top of me constantly. So to me, I can go off and do it myself. However, if we're doing it as a group, one, it gives me, so what's in this for me is, one, there's a percentage, okay, being perfectly clear. Two, it gets you making money, so everybody stays as part of the family longer. And the other side of it is, it gives us huge influence in the net. It gives us huge influence in the net moving forward. And what you start seeing, so this makes a sense at a long time that we would all be targeting the same people, and that these people would be confused with getting the same emails. This will tidy up. I actually don't mind them getting the same emails, Max, so they will still be getting the same emails. That's the point. If I get an email from Matt, and then I get an email from Frank Kern, and I get an email from Ryan Dice, and I get an email from Russell Brunson, then I get an email from Davin Michaels, and I get an email from Nick James, and they're all promoting the same thing, I'll go look at it. I will go look at it. That's the point. It's the stacking effect of email that nobody talks about. That's why everybody knows that when you send out the exact same email, everybody has known for years that causes problems with spam. We've all known it for years. The reason that nobody talks about it, and I'm being very honest with you here tonight, is the fact that it stacks as the person launching the product. You want people to actually send it out. And then you have, your social media stuff going out. We give you out your social media stuff. We can program into Hootsuite, get someone to run that. So we can get the whole thing structured and serviced and done. So if that's, I'm absolutely over the moon, guys, that we seem to be getting a positive response to it. It'll take a week or two to take it from theory to reality. I'm hoping to launch it by the 1st of February. And what we can then do is, the big thing is to figure out where and how I get somebody to actually run this. That's going to be the big question, is to bring in somebody in. Because what I want them doing is they'll all have access to your email accounts. They load up all the autoresponders. Your lists are being put in there automatically. And we just keep going. And we just keep going. And have a whole system, the design for that. The other thing as well that we're working on, just so that and I'm waiting for Max to come back with the price, is we might actually be able to come up with a system, and we're looking at, I can't guarantee this, but we're looking at a system that will go on to Build My List onto the actual site, that we will no longer have to send you out your calendar, that you'll actually be able to go in onto the site, just in case you thought I was doing nothing over Christmas, right? That you'll actually be able to go in onto the site and it will give you your 10 links for the day. If those links are dead, it'll actually delete them and get rid of them and bring them on to the next one, so that the system will be updating constantly. So that will make your side of the work much, much easier. So I'm not saying that this is compulsory. I want to make that clear. This is not compulsory in any shape or form. It will probably be an extra. I have no idea what it is yet. I've got to go and look at it. But the whole logic of us joining together as a community, as a fund, and generating in money, you know, even if we're just bringing members in to Build My List, we'll make money, right? So like that's the reality. And I'm offered launches constantly. I was talking to a guy at the weekend who was on one of our programs. He's doing a plug-in launch on JB Zoo this weekend. You know, they're looking for people to affiliate out. Like, they'll give me up to 70% because it's me. If you go talk to them, you get 50%, they'll give me 70%. So, like, a lot of the times, guys, the money that I'll be taking, there'll actually be more money going into the pool, because not being, oh, it's me and all the rest of it, but I've been around for a while. And people know that if I get behind something, it's going to work. So they'll actually support it. So what would happen then is, I'll be talking to all these guys, getting the connections, we'll drive people in, we'll drive people into webinars for Build My List, I'll create a whole funnel, we get that working, and then we just start making money is the plan. So anybody got any kind of comments or questions on what we've said, or what I've said so far? I know it's ropey, but the basic concept, guys, is we come together as a group, we get someone to do the emails, I find products that we can sell, or you find products. I'm happy for you to find products and stuff that can sell as well, and they can also be your products. Like, you know, if you've got licensed products that are working, or you've got stuff that's working, it goes in. We take 3 niches, right? We talk to people in the 3 niches. We go way off and we get stuff in, we email out, it works, we start making money. It doesn't work, we dump them, and we move in fast, because that's how it actually works. We then get the emails set up. We then get the email sent out, and we split it that way. So Vance says something very exciting, great. John says something really good, Max. So we still have our price of status quo. Yes, Max. So your side of it is you still do the competitions, right? You're still doing your competition. Everybody's able to get their competitions up now. Everybody's able to do the backlinking. It's just a question of whether they're doing it or not, right? And everybody's able to post social media. Where everybody's falling down, or a lot of people are falling down, is email. Okay, so I want to take care of that problem. So if we get someone to look after all the emails and send out the emails, you still get your list, right? You will still have your list. Your list will still be sent to you. You will still upload that in your autoresponder. We'll probably be using your autoresponder. I've got to look at that, how many ones we're going to send and which ones are doing what niche. Because then we can actually have emails going out constantly. So like somebody can get an email on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's a sequence. The reality in the secret email is about consistency, and it's about frequency, and it really is about going out. And you know, when you're selling products, it's about, you want somebody really on your list to buy or go away. Okay, being the complete prostitute that I am. Right, I talked about this at the beginning. You really do want, like, a lot of people. It was one of the things Nick and myself would disagree on constantly. Right, it's a different thing, but I would go Matt's attitude of, you know, we want people. So like, we might be actually sending out 2-3 emails a day to people, and everybody says, "Oh my God, that's too much." Yeah, if it's too much for them, they leave. If they're interested, they won't leave. Because it's like having a van going down the street. We've got to get the person to actually stop and take the number. So you would still run your own competitions. You would still be doing your backlinking and bringing in the list. The only thing is, first of all, with the PLR, anybody who's on with the PLR Vault, I have the PLR Vault nearly set up. And then you're just going to you just go into the PLR Vault and pick your prices, right? That's one of the things I can't throw on the table. I can't give it to you the way it is, because I get mangled by the guys on the PLR. But if I say, oh, well, look, there's an extra fee coming in and all of that, nobody can come back and sue me, right? and that's what they'll do. But we have over, I have over, I think 25 gigabytes of PLR in all different niches. And we'll just be keeping updating that and putting it up and that, because of sources where we get all that stuff. So that'll be there to use for your competitions. The other thing as well is, like with Niche Empires and all of these guys, you think they won't be going to them and asking them for a 10 grand program? Right? That's the reality. We'll be getting the prizes often. Okay? So, like, it's interesting. I don't want to group the prizes. I don't want to go back into the whole group thing that we all come together and we get a Mac or we do this type of stuff, which we might do. We might end up going back and saying, okay, there's one group prize. So let's say we made 10 grand next month, just for easy maths. We might turn on as a group and say, well, look, let's take £1,000 as a product. Let's buy an iPad or MacBook Pro or, I don't know, whatever, a drone. And let's stick that up, and let's do that as a main one, and then everybody will listen to that as well. Your job will be drive the traffic, get it in. My job will be find the products to sell and get emails to work that will sell. It will take a couple of months to fine tune it, but at least we'll be working as a group and in the tier. And then what will happen is you'll go into your orders family, you'll see, hang on a second, there's 10 emails in there going out, and then all we'll be asking is, leave those 10 emails go, leave them alone. If you've got a problem with that, let us know. And we will still have our own list. Absolutely, Max. Never, ever, 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 have I said ever, let anyone take a list. Your list is your list. That's what you're paying for. That's what you're routing up your competitions for. Your list is your list. What we're doing is we're using your list to drive in money into the fund, the same as everybody else's. But that's what we'll actually be doing. Okay, so you always have your list. You will always get in your list. We have a copy of the list. We'll email them out as well on Apps That Rocks. We do that anyway, to be perfectly honest, but we don't sell them anything. If you notice with Apps That Rocks, I do not sell out any emails to sell anything, because that's just not right. But you always have your own list and you keep your own list. So then in 6 months' time you say, you know, this is great, it's been fantastic, I want to move on to my own list, I want to start doing my own products, I want to go into the guru world. You take your list and you have your autoresponder and c'est la vie, that's that, you move on. Always keep your list. Always keep your list. So that's not going to change at all. It's just not going to change at all. Because that would make no sense. So I hope that answers that. Anybody else got any comments or questions or points that they want to put up? And of course we can offer products at the same time as this new program. You think I'm going to stop you selling, Max? Of course you can. You know, that's the idea. The idea for this is to increase your income, not limit it. Right? So there would be the global stuff going out. We would have the emails, and you might say, oh, okay, no, I have ways of solving all of that. And I'll show you that. And then it's a situation of, yes, of course you can have your individual products. The point is, Mags, if you have products and you have a product that's selling, why wouldn't you then come in, bring it to the group, and we send it out as a group and take an affiliate commission off it? So if you got a license, say, for some product from Nick, for example, right, which I know a number of you have, the whole thing is that you're out and you're pushing, and you've got this product and you're pushing it ahead and it's making money, then make more money from it, okay? Graham says, can't wait to get involved. Norman says, is Nick still involved? Yes, Nick is still involved. He doesn't know about this. Nick is taking a back seat, guys, because it needed a driver, right? So we kind of got to where Nick and myself got to is Nick is still involved and he'll still be turning up every now and again, but Nick is kind of taking a back seat this year on a lot of stuff that he's doing. He's not doing as many events and the rest of it. Nick is focusing on one or other two aspects of his life. So he is still involved. His name is still on the program. He is still involved in it. And he's still accessible without any doubt whatsoever, and he'll still come on every now and again. What we decided was the challenge is that two chiefs, no boat, right? So what we've done is that because let's be blunt, I'm the one who actually came up with the system, and that I should be the one to kind of pioneer it. Because if we were doing this, like Nick and myself have been talking about this for months, and there's this and there's that, and we would have slightly different ways of doing stuff. So Nick and myself, prior Christmas, agreed, and he's only back. He's been cruising for the last 4 weeks, and he's planning to take a lot of holidays this year. So he is still involved, 100%. However, he is taking a backseat. So I hope that answers the question for Norman. And you know, if you ever need to get hold of Nick or you want to get hold of him, everybody has his email, and he's happy to talk to anybody. There's no problem. He's still there. So, and Margaret says yes, that sounds good. So okay, guys. Well, what I'll do over the next week is we'll sit down next week and we will go through this properly. I'll try and have a document done that's readable and editable and get that out to you. The only challenge I have by next Tuesday is my birthday on Sunday. So I'm away for the weekend with the family. I'm turning 51. I'm getting old. So on Sunday, so that's the only thing that might delay me a small bit, but certainly by the end of next week I'll have everything framed out, because I don't want to rush it and make a mess of it. And the other side of it is I'll probably send you out in Google Docs, okay? And it will be editable and commentable, that everybody can come in and make their edits and comments and say what they think, okay? This will be a community. I will be leading the community in a sense, but I will not be dictating in any shape or form. So I hope that that makes sense to you all. Sorry to hear that we miss him. As I said, Max, he's not gone. He's still there. He's just taking a back seat. The every Tuesday night was hard for Nick to schedule. Like he's traveling a lot with his family. There's, you know, let's be honest. Nick I'm recording this. Nick has done very, very well over the last number of years, and he's worked very, very, very hard, and he's tired. And what he wants to do this year is kind of sit back and enjoy the fruits of his labour for a bit, and then move on, you know, to newer projects. So that's why he went away for 3 weeks at Christmas. You know, he's tired. He wanted it. There was a lot of things happening. This kind of happened by accident, myself and Nick, to be perfectly blunt about it. It kind of came out of nowhere. It was something that we talked about, we said, let's try it and let's do it, and then it became very, very successful. We went off and the rest of it, but, you know, even Nick would be talking about one place, I'm talking about another. The message was getting mixed up, so we just kind of had to say, we have to sit back and look, let there be a leader. Nick is still there. I talk to Nick regularly. We haven't fallen out. He's not gone. His picture is still up on the stuff. He's still on the videos, and he will be turning up every now and again to say hello, guys. So I will be bringing Nick in to talk about stuff moving forward, and he does know about this because we've talked about it already. Can I use a product that was not yet to be marketed to Kickstarter? Graham, can I use a product that was not yet that has not yet been marketed to Kickstarter? Yes, of course you can. You know, we'll try anything. Stephen says, you must be joking. I presume that's on my age. Happy birthday, youngster. Thank you very much. You're just a baby. Amir, young strapping. Happy birthday, Tony. It's my birthday today. Oh, congratulations, Graham. Happy birthday. How about 76? That's really old. No, I tell you this much, my outfit turned 80 just before Christmas, and I am joking about 51 and being old. I don't feel old in any shape or form. And I'm taking the same opinion as my father. My grandmother passed away when she was 99, and my goal is to be 120 and shot by the jealous lover of a 22-year-old absolutely gorgeous woman, but we can all have our dreams. But no, I'm not old in any shape or form, and you know, age these days is literally a number anymore. It's fabulous. But thank you for all the birthday wishes, and Graham, happy birthday to you. You know, and very nice of you to come on the night of your birthday to join us. So guys, absolutely fabulous. I'm delighted that everybody is excited as I am about this. We'll figure out how to make it work in the next 2 weeks, and let's get it up and moving, and we'll go from there. And you know, we go off and we like everything else in marketing. We go off, we test it, we find out how to make it work, and we do more of it. but the power of community, the power of a group as opposed to one is much, much stronger. So I think there's us all coming together as a group, you know, and doing that will absolutely make things better. And it also means that anybody who's having any, you know, slight difficulties financially at the moment and trying to get ARP reached and all the rest of it can still make money without having to have an autoresponder. I know Kevin's working on a new model. I know that there are cheaper stuff out there, but the reality is they don't work. So there's no point in buying a car with 3 wheels, like, unless you're the trotters, you know. But there just isn't. There's just no point in doing it. So fabulous. If there's any more questions, guys, life begins at 80s. It's always my motto. Absolutely. My parents are 76 and have gone to Cuba for fun. That's the way to do it. Sounds good for New Year. Brilliant. So graphics are going to be up 10 and host. Yeah, you'll be able to go to Mags as of tomorrow. I gotta put up a link on the site, and the next couple of days, but you'll be able to go to Mags, and it'll be the same price as Fiverr. Okay. It's a speed thing, but like what's actually happening is some of the stuff we're getting back from Fiverr just comes back too big, and you know we're doing a lot of adjustment on it. So we talked about this, and it's Mags has a good girl, and there's a few way of Mags making an extra few quid. So how bad, she's a good kid. You know, I don't mind. My attitude with anybody who's good and restful, I hope we all make good money. And I expect everybody to make good money now. It's great to see all boats rising up. If you want anyone to make quote posts, I love doing them. Check out my stuff on Instagram, Mortgage Closer. Excellent. I actually use a thing just to say on that. If you are doing those, Barb, there's a very, very good plugin for Chrome. Let me show it you. It's Stencil, which I love. I pay for, I think it's about $50 for the year, right? But what it actually does, just to show you this, right? That was one I did earlier, and you see, you just pick the size of what you want it for. Where there's a Pinterest post. So if I said that was a Pinterest post, see, we did it. All I gotta do then is download that and upload it onto Pinterest. It's very, very nice. So it actually does all the different post sites for me. LinkedIn post. So if I set that to LinkedIn post, see how it changes, and then I can just grab the text and push it down there. Right? So that thing, it's also the other nice thing about it is they've added quotes to it. Right? So you've got all these quotes here now as well, guys. Right? I don't know how much it is. I know I pay for it. I don't know. It's not hugely expensive. 20 templates added, drag and drop to canvas. We're starting to change up. Okay. But then they also have the backgrounds there, so you can upload your own image without any problem. But you can just, so if I wanted to change that to a cup of coffee, there you go. Just go in and change the text. I change the text to some light color, which is horrible, but it's not bad. Change my name. Change the light color. See what happened. Still hard to read, but then I change the image. And that's the point. Nice and easy. If I wanted to change the quote on that, I say pick the Dalai Lama. Right, so we get rid of that. And say you did mess up, there we go. So then I go and find a nice background for that. Religion is very simple. Religion is kindness. So a sky would be good for that, I think, or a flower then. So this one, colour was wrong. And take that. And bring it right down to this. I'll put it up there. Not great. Black would actually be better. So that's it. And I just change that LinkedIn post to Facebook post. And there you go. And I can download it. So I hope you like that. What's the story made of Gun Sengrid? As of the end of the month they're gone. Right? So I'll tell you about that at the end of the month. Right? Story made on Sengrid is they've changed their the way they do it. They now ask you to put in a credit card and all the rest of it. They still allow you to send out emails, but Kevin has been meeting with somebody quietly, and I'll give you a bit of an inside scoop. He's been meeting with somebody quietly. I'm actually going to write that because I'm going to use this. I like that. I like that. So they're going to. So from the end of the month, there's going to be kind of so many fee per month. Kevin's working on that, so we'll update you on that. Yeah, we do. I do, Mags, because I was actually talking to Kevin about it today. We're very aware of it, and you know, it annoyed the arse off me, to be perfectly blunt. Unfortunately, when you're using third-party suppliers, that's why I'm working very, very hard with everything to bring everything in-house. You know, to be perfectly blunt, I want everything to come in-house to become more logical and integratable. And like Kevin's working very, very hard. So, you know, we use some third-party software for part of it at the moment. My plan is by the middle of this year, every piece of software that we're using will be my own. That's what actually what we're working on. So that's kind of part of it. Okay, guys, it is 9 o'clock. So I hope you like Stencil. I don't know how much it is, guys. I bought it. I've not been kind of thing. I don't think it's that dear. I've done that. I know I got it in some deals, but I just like. I know there's other ones like it as well, but I like those. So I hope you like that, Barb, and it helps you doing that. And if you do those things, fabulous. You know, and that's the other part of the community stuff we can do, is that people, you know, some people might be good at that type of stuff, so graphics and that type of stuff. So we can pool our resources and get everybody to put their talents into the community and let it grow. And I am really, really excited about this. I've been thinking about this for months, and it was over Christmas. I said, look, let's go off and do it. And once we get this working, I think I can bring in an absolute ton of people, and we can bring in people into the community and keep adding them in and keep adding them in and keep adding them in, and away we go. So with that, guys, I will wish you the best of evenings. I'm good at making Sanny's that count. Absolutely, Margaret. Absolutely. As long as you can send them virtually, we'll be fine. So it is 9 o'clock, and look, keep going. Don't stop anything. Keep putting up your competitions. Keep battling and get your list built. And you know, keep your social media going and the rest. I know there's a lot of you aren't using Reddit and Dig, guys, because I'm looking at the traffic. Dig and Reddit, don't forget about them, especially you, Mags. They're very, very good. They're very strong. Especially Reddit is very, very good at sending traffic. And the thing about Reddit is that a lot of them are now allowing you to repost every 48 hours. Okay? So there's a lot of traffic there to be had. There's a lot of traffic there to be had. So Dig, Reddit, Tumblr, will be all part of the article we'll talk about. So we'll talk about this next week. I know I promised you the Facebook Live one. I am going to try before you go. I did my first Twitter video. I did them on 2 of the accounts on Apps That Rocks and that dies. On Apps That Rocks, when I got this guy comes on and tells me I look like an ugly mushroom. So that was interesting. And on that days, I got this guy asking me how he could sell crack cocaine. It turned out he was joking afterwards. But to say it was annoying was an understatement. So I am testing the Twitter stuff as well, because Twitter bought Periscope. So it's it's just interesting. But I think I've come up with a strategy that I want to test, which is, and I'll show you them when we're doing it. And what I want to test is actually talking about the competitions on the video. You can show the computer screen, which means you don't have to go on it, guys. So I think if we post live videos up of the competitions using Twitter and all of these things, it could get very interesting. So you're more than welcome, Jim. Vance, have a great day. Margaret, I love mushrooms.
Yeah, but it's not very nice without your head looks like one, even though it might have a point. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great evening. Any questions, as always, support. Use support and get them in. And as always, for those of you who are new, follow the calendar. That's your funnel, your 3-site funnel. Again, at Rocks My Social Radio on your site. We're still using My Social Radio because that just shows that Nick isn't gone anywhere. And you know the steps, and I'll make a PDF of this and it will go to you as well. So the recording will be up by probably Thursday. I'll get it done and download tonight. Unfortunately, it's just with GoToWebinar. It takes 4 or 5 hours to process. So thanks, guys, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Graham, again, happy birthday to you, my man. And thanks for coming on, guys, and welcome back. And it's going to be an absolutely fantastic new year. And let's get busy. Talk to you soon. Have a great night. Bye.